welcome back to another episode of the Natty Teacher. We got an intro today. Sorry about that yesterday. Yeah, I totally forgot my little car clip thing that I, can lock my phone into. So, had a different vehicle. Was back in my regular car. I was using my wife's car for a little bit while she was on break. Then I was back in my car, but I had forgot that I left the clip in her car. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's my bad. Didn't have it with me. Anyways, we got our Push B session on the docket today. We are on the way to the gym right now for an early morning push session. Now, it's not that early. It's like, I don't know, probably 6:25 right now. So it's not like super early, but it is still pretty early. I unfortunately did not get the best sleep ever. Happens from time to time. And I'll tell you guys, it's one of those things where, put it this way. Like last night, I had to meal prep, had a really late, late dinner, late meal number 6, I should say, I guess, which is logically my dinner, but didn't end up finishing that till probably 10:45, 10:50, almost 11, and was in bed, pretty shortly after 11, hopped in a quick shower and went to bed. But my body woke itself up this morning, probably, a little after 4:30, maybe 4:45, and had to go pee. Didn't think anything of it. Went and laid back down, couldn't fall back asleep. And it's one of those things where, obviously, getting 5.5 hours of sleep, definitely an ideal for, trying to pack on muscle, but it's going to happen. There's days you're going to get 2 hours of sleep, maybe no sleep. Yeah, you never know. Just waking up every couple of minutes. It unfortunately is a harsh reality of being a human, is there are just days where you can get 8 hours of sleep every day for 3 years, and then all of a sudden, you get a day where you get 2 hours of sleep, and it's like, what happened? It just happens. In those moments, though, guys, that is where, I hate to say it, we live in a world nowadays where I think you gotta be careful with how you say things a little bit, and just be respectful, so I get it. But you gotta suck it up. You gotta suck it up on those days. Obviously I would have loved to have, stayed in bed for a couple more hours, but then that means I'd have to, work out really late tonight and miss time with my family and all that. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Okay? I gotta work out in the morning before my wife goes to work so I can, babysit my daughter for the day. And then my wife will get home at a good time and we'll be able to spend time together. Had I not done this workout this morning, again, I might get an hour or two with my wife, maybe, by the time she gets home from work. Okay? Not going to do that. I'm going to get done what I got to get done, and go from there. So I ain't going to miss. I could have gotten 2 hours of sleep. I could have gotten 0 sleep. I'd still be making this video right now a lot more tired than I am now. So at least I got some. And I was out too. So I was out hard. So anyways, Push B session on the docket. We're going to start out with some incline dumbbell flies. You guys know the drill, man. I'll mix up the rep schemes from time to time depending on how I'm feeling. Like last week I was feeling strong, very strong. So I'm like, all right, we're going to go for it. And it paid off. I got sick pumps out of it. So if we're feeling that way today, we'll do the same thing. If we're feeling like, hey, you know what, maybe we'll back off a little bit on the weight, but do some higher reps, we'll do some higher reps. But most likely, hopefully, we're going to be pushing it in that, more 8 to 10 rep range for our top set here. So got that pre-workout meal in me, got my actual, pre-workout drink in me a little bit. Made sure I added a little bit extra caffeine today. And yeah, so top set of incline dumbbell flies coming at you now. All right, as promised, we got some incline dumbbell flies, but I'm going to tell you what. We mixed it up a little bit here. Now, we still have 2 working sets, but you'll notice that the rep ranges are quite a bit higher, and also the weight is quite a bit lower, but look at that stretch. Dear Lord, those dumbbells going to touch the floor? Trying to keep the arms with a slight bend, very slight hitch. With any flying movement, I would recommend some sort of bend in there. There are definitely some variations in some flying movements that would be more beneficial with more of a straighter arm, but it's very, very slight bend here. Now, what we did here is we dropped the weight, we dropped the ego, and I'm telling you, I'm so glad that I did, and it paid huge dividends into my pressing and all that. It felt really good. So we did 2 working sets here at this weight. I think we're using, the 35-pound dumbbells. We did 2 working sets within that 15 to 20 rep range. I actually think I did a rep match set here. I think I did 2 sets of 17 reps. So next week, we definitely will jump that up to the 40s. Try to shoot for a top set of roughly 15 reps, then a back off set with the 40s for 12 to 15 reps, something like that. But this felt so good. We're open in the chest. I could feel it so much on my upper chest. I felt like I was going heavy enough to feel it, but light enough to where I could actually get into the ranges of motion I wanted to get into and actually get the squeezes that I wanted to squeeze. If you notice too here, the bench angle, we're probably looking at roughly a 35, 40 degree angle. I find this one for flies, for like dumbbell flies in particular, is really solid. I would highly recommend it. You'll notice that I actually work my first 3 exercises. Every single angle is slightly different, and that is for, a particular reason, okay? Mixing up the angles is great. You can press and do flies at different angles in your training cycles. I would highly recommend it just to hit the different parts of your muscle groups, or like for the chest, for example, hit like that slighter upper chest, or maybe slightly below where you're normally hitting. But again, 2 working sets, 15 to 20 reps there. Then we have a low incline Smith press. My pressing felt phenomenal here. See, nice control, going nice and slow on the way down. Nice pause at the bottom of the movement. We're not bouncing off the chest. We are bringing the bar down roughly to the lower chest here, even though this is an upper chest builder. If you watch the actual chest muscles work and watch where the control and the contraction is coming from, you'll notice it is in the upper chest. But we got two plates, a 10 and a 2.5 on each side. Top set here, and we did 2 working sets of 2 plates and 2.5 on each side. Reps between 6 and 8. So you can go like 6 to 10 there. But anyways, high incline dumbbell press. Now you'll notice again, the bench is quite a bit up. Above 45 degrees, probably closer to 55 or 60 degrees here. We're bringing the dumbbells all the way down to where we are getting the arms at least to 90 degrees. I found that for me, having longer limbs, this felt much more comfortable. I was able to control the weight and really get a good contraction and a good stretch out of this particular range of motion. It felt awesome. Okay, so again, 2 working sets here. Did drop the weight a little bit after that first one, keeping the reps between 8 and 10. Now, this is a new one for me, and I cannot take credit for this. If you look at a guy, his name's John Jewett. I follow him on YouTube and on Instagram and all that. He's a phenomenal IFBB open bodybuilder, also a phenomenal coach. I would highly recommend his material and his channel, so please go give him a subscription and a like and follow and all that stuff. I hope never see this probably, but I would highly recommend it. I saw him doing this. Now, he did this with like 40-pound dumbbells, these dumbbell side laterals, with the chest support. I'm starting with like the 20s. We did 3 working sets with the 20s, but we used absolutely 0 momentum and really controlled that eccentric. It felt great. It felt like, again, I definitely could feel my traps getting activated a little bit at that top of the motion, but it felt really good. So again, we did 3 working sets here with the 20-pound dumbbells. You'll see I am using some grips as well, because remember, it's not grip day. For people who are like, oh, you use grips on stuff? Well, yeah, of course. It's not grip day. It's push day. I want to make sure that I'm getting the most out of my exercises here, man. Come on. Now, after that, speaking of pushing some weight, got some Meadows push downs, again, named after the late, great John Meadows. Did 3 working sets here, 90-second breaks in between. I did do 1 longer break in between my first and second set unintentionally, but it was okay. It felt good. Now, these ones, again, I like to keep this exercise in that higher rep range. I would recommend for most tricep exercises, maybe not all of them, but for some of them, I would keep them in that little bit of a higher rep range. 12 to 20 reps is solid, especially when you're really pushing. I got my daughter out here with me while I'm doing this voiceover, so if you hear some noises like that, it's my house isn't haunted. I promise that's just my kid. Yeah, baby. But again, 3 working sets here, all of which were within that 12 to 20 plus rep range. It felt awesome. Got really good contractions out of this exercise. You don't got to do the full stack. Obviously, that's my goal, is to build up to that, but I'm, a little over halfway there right now. With this, it felt really good. Great pumps from this particular exercise for sure. Okay. Anyways, after that, we got some long rope over the head tricep extensions. One of my favorites. Usually I do this one first, but I flipped it because I felt like I was doing, as weird as this may sound, I actually felt like I was doing too much weight on this exercise and not quite tight enough form when I've looked back at my old footage of me doing this exercise. So I ended up switching it, lowering the weight, putting it second in my workout, not worrying so much about the weight, but really focusing on the stretch and contraction. Felt awesome. Standing a couple, maybe a foot or so away from the actual cable tower, really getting that nice deep stretch all the way down and that good contraction at the very top. It felt great. 3 working sets here. Again, trying to keep the reps, I would say, in that 8 to 15 or maybe even 10 to 20 range, keeping in that moderate to maybe even slightly higher rep range would be ideal. Okay. So anyways, that concluded it. I do have a half hour of cardio still. Do your cardio. Do it every day, or well, close to every day, even in the off season. Push B session in the books. Pun intended. Dude, phenomenal. Literally phenomenal workout. Even with being tired, even with being sleepy, definitely didn't get the best sleep last night. Regardless, phenomenal workout, man. It was awesome. Unbelievable pumps, unbelievable mind-muscle connection. Unbelievable. Struggling with that one. Just great stuff, man. It's just a phenomenal workout. It really was. It was just an awesome workout. So we are on our way home. Gonna get my post-workout meal in, smash that down real quick. And then at that point, I don't know if my daughter will be up yet or not. We'll see when I get home. But at that point, just hanging out with the kid, playing, reading books, eating, all that kind of fun stuff. So just kind of hanging around for the day. I do have cardio a little bit later on. I will say my kid has not been napping super great lately. I don't know why. My wife and I are kind of like trying to figure out exactly what is going on with that. But so I'm hoping she naps today, because I've been having to do cardio like at night after my wife gets home from work. So I'm hoping that she conks out in the afternoon so I can just do it then. But either way, we'll see. We'll be good. But join me tomorrow. Tomorrow's workout will be a little bit later, so I'll have 2 meals in me rather than just one, which is, I usually, in the summer when I'm off work, I don't ever really eat more than 2 meals pre-workout. Usually just one. One has kind of actually been 1 to 2 is my sweet spot. So during the school year, I end up eating 4, just purely because I don't go to the gym till like 3 p.m. So just throughout my day at work, I just eat, 4 total meals from, when I wake up till when I leave. But yeah, 1 to 2 meals is like my sweet spot. Anyways, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Join me tomorrow for that pull B session, kind of more of a thickness style workout. Lots of rowing, lots of squeezing, lots of contractions, all that kind of fun freaking stuff. Tons of pumps. Oh man, it's gonna be sick. It is going to be sick. Potentially vomit inducing. We'll see. But it's gonna be awesome. Also, make sure, I've said this before in previous videos, but it's up to you if you want to do this or not. I am trying to post more consistently on there. My TikTok is just at the Natty Teacher. I post condensed versions of my workout on there. So if you're somebody who wants to check in on the video or whatever, but you kind of want something that's like a minute or less, maybe a minute and a half or less, my TikTok is probably for you. Like I said, I just kind of put in the clips, edit each of my exercises to where I show 10 to 15 seconds per exercise, label the sets and reps, and the actual exercise and stuff like that at the top. And then go from there. So if you're somebody who wants a condensed version of my workouts, make sure you check out my TikTok. Give it a follow. I've been pretty good about posting on there lately, so I'll try to continue to post on there every day as well as my YouTube. So anyways, I will see y'all tomorrow. But for today, I am the Natty Teacher, and this episode of Summer School is out. Class dismissed. The bell doesn't let you make you, the bell doesn't, you don't leave when the bell tells you to. You leave when the teacher does, baby. And the bell's going to ring right about now.